Hello, I'm Lori Steiner, sitting in for Armin Budish. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, it's not too early to get a jump on this year's tax tips. We have them ready for you. Ready for another serving of sensational sports stories? Dan Coughlin is here to dish them out. Plus, how to tell if it's time for in-home help. And don't take insurance denial lying down.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Receipts, W-2s, 1099s, year-end statements. Paperwork is paramount when planning to file your tax return. Jim Lineweaver is here to stack up tips to help tax time be less taxing. Jim is a certified financial planner with the Lineweaver Financial Group. All right, wow, this is a big problem for a lot of people here. And you're going to have tips for do-it-yourselfers and for professionals, right?
We are, yes. So whether you take your tax return and do it yourself, or you got to get everything ready, like this pile of paper,
yeah, this
and
doesn't
get it
look
ready.
good.
It doesn't. It's a big headache for a lot of people every year, and what you have to prepare for your tax preparer.
Okay, so what documents are we actually talking about?
Well, first let's just look at your income. You know, if you had a W-2, if you did any side jobs like a 1099, if you had disability income, if you had Social Security, if you had pension payments, disability payments, any of that, what happens is either keep your year-end stub, or better yet, get your W-2 and 1099 forms that physically come, you know, from the employer. Because those are extremely important, and you're going to have to file a copy of those with your tax return.
Okay, how about your investment income? You have to gather that, right?
You do, and people always think of the golden rule of January 31st. Well, that's been extended on a lot of things, so be careful. So if you're trying to file early, some of your brokerage statements won't come till February 15th now. If you have any limited partnerships or anything like that, it's not going to come till possibly the middle or end of March. So if you're used to filing early, not going to happen. But anything along that nature, dividends from your bank or interest from your bank, all that kind of stuff also has to be gathered for taxes.
Okay, is this something you have to look for, or do these just come to you?
These should automatically be sent to you, but I wouldn't just wait, you know, I'd kind of almost have a little checklist to make sure that nothing
You've got
is
everything.
missing. Yes, exactly, because I can't tell you how many times people are going to have to do amended returns, or it's caught 2 or 3 years later because they missed one document. It's not your tax preparer's fault. They didn't have it, they didn't know.
Right.
So if you have a little checklist, much better, put them in an envelope, and then when you get them all, do it yourself or give it to the accountant.
Okay, so we talked about the income. How about deductions?
Yeah, these are extremely important, because the more you can deduct, the less you have to pay in taxes.
Well,
So
very good
don't want to pay
thing.
any more than we absolutely have to.
That's right.
Yeah, so anything is like your mortgage interest statement, or any charitable contributions you made, and over to like $250, what they do is they want actual documentation and proof of that. Tuition payments, student loan payments, education expenses, anything you're doing for job hunting, keep track of the mileage and everything, and also unreimbursed business expenses. Sometimes, even though your business would not reimburse that for you, sometimes you can actually get a reimbursement on your tax return and get money back from the government. It's very important.
Okay, well, it's a lot of paperwork, obviously. When we've got piles of papers here, this is kind of like what everyone's dining room table, it looks like, probably. Any tips on how to tackle these taxes now that you've compiled your pounds and pounds of paper?
Yeah. Well, don't just throw them on the floor and get rid of them, okay? that's not a good way to handle things.
Okay.
Okay, so you can get those accordion folders, whatever you want to do. But the better you can be organized, especially if you're handing it off to somebody else. A lot of times accountants and stuff will charge you by the hour. We don't at our firm, but some accountants do.
Should be organized going in.
Yeah, and the more you can tell them, the better, and get them well informed so that they spend less time on your return and therefore maybe charge you less money for your taxes and everything.
Okay, and if you're going to take your tax return to a preparer, how do you know if they're a good one or a bad one?
Well, I would see a CPA. I probably wouldn't go to a bookkeeper. I wouldn't go to just a tax preparer. And if they're in your audience, I'm not trying to offend them or anything, but probably for people that may not have a very sophisticated return, or let's say they don't have rental properties, or they don't have some of these other investments like K1s and stuff, it's probably okay. But the more sophisticated or complex, I should say, your return, and maybe other things that you own, properties and things, you're probably better to kind kind of go up a notch and try to go to a CPA. And that's why in our firm we have a CPA that can do clients' taxes or your viewers' taxes if they like, because we want to make sure the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and we don't want the IRS knocking on the door.
We want to make sure we get every deduction
Yeah,
we're
positive.
entitled
Yes,
to.
yes.
Yeah. So, good tips, always, as always. So, remember, the trick to taxes is preparing all of your paperwork. Follow Jim's advice and start putting things in place pronto. And if you need help, give Jim a call. His number's next.
Find out more by calling the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net.